All right, we are live, and we are doing. What are we doing today?
Oh,
he walks
Jesus.
apparently.
He walks.
We're gonna be doing first
I
three
found this
episodes.
on- What?
Huh? I was saying first 3 episodes of Andor. We're covering now.
Yes.
We're gonna do review discussion. There will be spoilers. We'll probably do an overall review, first few seconds. No spoilers needed, and then after that, we will definitely tell you when the spoilers are coming.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just—I gotta find it. Jump right into it. All right. So, overall, what did we think about the show?
Katrina, you want to start, seeing as you're always the most excited?
I
I forgot to get that.
I am excited. I was excited. I was more excited for this than I was for Kenobi, and it's been a long time.
Hateful, but
And
that's just hateful.
I'm not disappointed. No, I think
You can't be disappointed.
I can never be disappointed. No, that's not true now. Not true now. It's decent. I do like the start. I don't think it's slow. The people that think it's slow, I mean, are they not used to regular series? Maybe they're just used to the wham bam, thank you ma'am 6-episode series that Marvel are churning out. Where
First off,
an origin story in the first episode and then utter bullshit after that.
let's take it easy with the wham bam episode thing.
No, I think there's good world building, good character development. There's no. I mean, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'm sure it might be. No Siths, no Jedis, just regular.
Why are we watching the show then?
Behind the 7-Eleven Star Wars. I mean, it's.
Behind the 7-Eleven Star Wars. What did you think, Canadian?
More or less the same. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good start. Kind of felt like it was originally supposed to be just one oversized premiere, opposed to 3 episodes. But nevertheless, it was still great to watch it. Like the setup, the world building was a lot of fun. Like I really liked the planet we saw, the Corpo planet.
Whoa!
What was that?
Trying to get some. Trying to see if I can see a chat here in a minute.
But yeah, the Corpo planet was great.
Molana 1, is that
Molana, it? Yeah, and then the planet they're on right now is fine, just another desert-looking place. But it looks like they've left, as we'll see.
Ferrix. That's the name of
Ferrix.
it.
Well, we're not going to spoiler, so easy.
Yeah, the Death Star came and blew up. No,
all right. So what I will say about it is that I don't want to be that guy. I have never in my life questioned other people's Star Wars fandom. Of course, I would never be such a person. But I would say this: if you are a Star Wars fan, and I mean like stupid, like you're doing a YouTube show every Wednesday,
basically,
whether you really have the time to do it or not. You have been asking for this. I feel like you've been asking for this because this is so far from at least the first 3 episodes, and we know where this is going, right? Like we know who this is. We know that his end date is coming. Mm-hmm. This is to tell you how Rogue One is going. I think Star Wars did a really smart thing because that was, for the biggest hater to the biggest, kind of fan randomly. Rogue One is considered a good movie. Like it's not. It's not. It's definitely better than the 3 that shall not be named and a few of the other ones. So it's considered a good movie. So I thought they did a pretty good job with this guy. Mm-hmm. He's not the world's best actor, but he's good. He's acceptable. Mm-hmm. They kind of circled him with some pretty well known actors. Like there's a lot of decent kind of bit players. Like I thought they did another good job that I thought they did in this was also the actors that who they are, you've seen them, but it's not like Tom Hanks. It's not like Brad Pitt. It's like the guy who was like always the cool guy in a movie or always that other guy in a TV show or something. Yeah. So I thought they did a really good job with that. I think Star Wars had the best with that. But I think 2 things that people have always asked for in Star Wars, and you have to go to like Legends and comic books to get it. what is it like from the Empire's point of view, and what is it like for just regular people? Like if I'm just some dude sweeping my damn floor, and I have a smoothie.
I just want
I
to
have
be
a
the guy
smoothie shop.
hits the bell this morning, waking up everyone, set everyone
Yeah.
to bed.
I have a smoothie shop down the street from the Jedi Temple. I'm just a regular old dude, and every so often one of the Jedi walk by, or you know what I mean? Like, what is that like to live in that world where you're just a regular dude and all this crap is going on around you? And so for me, being a Star Wars super nerd, I enjoyed every second of it. I enjoyed finding things and looking for things. I enjoyed. They kind of do. They kind of show you how the average people live. They kind of show how people what they do to eke out a living.
Mhm.
They show you. There was one part that I thought was good when I noticed when I watched it through a second time. It's easy to watch. You can watch it more than once because the episodes are pretty short. I mean, they might be long as far as boring if you thought they were boring, but they're short as far as actual time.
Essentially, yeah, an hour and a half between all 3 episodes.
Yeah, and I would say something like this: he got a black eye. He works. It seems to be that he works dismantling. This is not spoilers, by the way. Dismantling ships. It seems like everybody in Star Wars has a job dismantling ships or dismantling something. So you would think that would be kind of a hard job. You'd fall down a lot. You get hit a lot. Oh, you took a door to the eye. Yet everybody in his life throughout the entire 3 episodes asked him, "What's up with his eye? What's up with his eye? What's up with his eye?" And I was watching some guy, and I noticed that. And then I was reading an article where somebody pointed that out, that it's like when you're living in a place like the Empire, you notice those kind of things because anything changing from the norm, people notice. People notice, if you go back to my history days of Nazis and everybody else, everyone noticed when there's something different. And you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be noticed. Right. You want to just kind of go into the shadows.
That's the basis for intelligence, right?
Yeah, and and that's kind of what this was. It was kind of like that thing where what would it be like to actually live in the world of the Empire. So I thought it was really cool. I could see why people would think it was slow because it was a TV show, not a space battle. So you wouldn't even know it was Star Wars. Probably there were some parts that you probably would see that was Star Wars, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. Like. Because like when Star Wars did other shows, Kenobi and some of the other ones, Boba and all these kind of things, they're kind of the same thing, right? Like they're kind of some of them are exactly the same, but they're the same thing. And the Star Wars, one thing, like I was just saying, that they kind of could do better at is providing
variety, more
nuance and more world building. And sometimes you might need a slow TV show. Now, after watching the first 3, now the next 6 or whatever could be freaking amazing, blow the doors off and everyone's like on the edge of their seats. Don't think so, but it could be. Now, do I think it's weird that they had already picked up, but then they already pick up season 2?
Yeah,
they already picked up season 2, and I think they said they're working on a season. They didn't outright confirm season 3, but they basically were insinuating it.
Now, I do find that. What? I'm sorry.
I just think that means they have lots of storylines written out. They've got things to tell, and it needs with the pace they're going, it needs more than just 12 episodes to tell these stories. And just like with Mandalorian, where it was I liked that the Mandalorian had like. My wife, this is what she said about it, was that every episode was kind of like a mini subplot, but it eventually led to a plot that ran the entire series. And then again for the next series after that. And I think that's maybe what's going on here.
Yeah. Like I said, I did find it a little bit interesting that because it is such a slow burn, and they had to have known that was going to be something, because that's not a normal thing for Star Wars to do it. Like this is an abnormal TV show. I feel like they had to know they were going to get a little bit backlash for being so slow. So one, I would love to say that means they know the stories they got are freaking amazing and they know it's going to be good. So might as well go on and pick up a second episode before these actors go off to do something else. And I can see the guy who always is smoking the fairy dust over there going, yep, here's the problem though, it's Disney. And they don't have a good track record about picking out what they think is good or bad. So it leads me to have a really big pause and hesitation to say, yeah, that's probably what it is. But like I said, this is the kind of thing I've been asking for. So I'd be a pretty big hypocrite if I was like, what is this? I was bored out of my mind. When actuality, I was kind of nerding out looking at all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Now,
And
should
kinda
we
pick it
jump
up.
into spoiler territory here? Because there's one thing I want to bring up right away that I liked.
Yeah, I can see that you're like the little kid who really wants to tell what happened today at school. So you really want me to say spoiler so you can bring it up. So yes, I would say at the count of 5, we're gonna release the Canadian because he is chomping at the bit to get a spoiler in. So we will be spoiling
Well,
in
not really a
5,
spoiler,
4,
it's just a thing, but yeah.
3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. Well, I
Cassian
should have a
Andor
spoiler button.
dies. No.
Come on. No, he doesn't.
What I really liked immediately going because the starting the show as soon as we see him walking going into the corpo town, it immediately goes 5 BBY, and immediately it just sets the stage. We already know when it is. We already know where it is. There's no like trying to figure out when this takes place and sorting it out. It just tells you. And with it being that close to Rogue One, that means there's already we're at the point where there should be so many of these characters already in place. Like we're not like, oh, this character he hasn't joined up with the rebellion yet. He's still so many years out, so we're not going to see him. But now we're at a point where we could probably see a lot of these characters in the show because of what time it is.
Yeah, and whether they know Cassian or not. They're still in play. And they're still
especially when we get to the Senate.
Yeah, I was about to say you might have to lean forward on your microphone. But what I was going to say that I actually had this as my second point. My first point is that I was hoping for a little bit more. He does get into a fight, and I saw a guy say, "Bring a man to room temperature." Is how he got away from saying murder because you can't say murder on Twitch and YouTube, even though I just said it. He said, "Brought a man to room temperature," which I thought was a clever way to do that. It opens in a brothel. It opens in a town, a house of ill repute, and I thought that was very interesting.
The adult themes are so welcome.
Yes,
this is the show to do it.
First thing I think when you asked me, I said it's very adult in every way. It's a slow burn for adults. The themes are adults. Now, if it was HBO, it would have been the first 10 minutes would have been raunchy, and I would have been like, "Oh, geez, I can't watch this at work." But it was just it was nice to see that because it actually made me kind of perk up and go, "Wait a minute, is this what I think this is? Are they in a house of the ladies of the night?" And then one thing I will say, because I did see a few comments didn't really get that. That's a corporate area. That's only for employees. That's why they knew that he was immediately wasn't where he was supposed to be. Yeah. And that's why they were giving him crap right away because he was in a place that's only for employees, that area of town. Yeah. So that's kind of one thing I would notice. And then my very next thing was BBY5. I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked, and I don't think Star Wars has ever used this officially to actually use the BBY stuff. They definitely never used it in a movie. They've definitely never used it in a TV show.
It's never been used in an official circumstance like that. It's been used in books when you open the book and the inside of the book has like a timeline of when so and so books happened. They've used it. They've only ever used. They tried instituting.
The only way I could really find that they used it a lot was in like those like encyclopedia books where they like show you the stuff like that is where they were using them a lot. But as far as movies and TV shows, no, they've never. No. This has like been a fan thing, is the BBY thing.
But they've tried instituting their own version, which is around the Starkiller base, and it was really dumb. There isn't because the thing is BBY doesn't work as a in-universe time detail. But there is an actual in-universe one, which is centered around when the Empire is formed.
Yeah.
So there's that setup. But basically...
But they used it here.
The Battle of Geonosis, right?
Yeah, but they used BBY. And I was watching somebody who they didn't talk about it, so that's why I had to go look. But they did say all the time meshes up. Like they were like, if he was this, then it was that, then it was this, and everything lines up. So they're using BBY, which I think is a bigger deal than what people have even realized because they haven't been used. That's a fan thing. And like you said, they really want to stop looking at the old. I mean, come on. I mean, I understand that as far as a corporate thing, They want to stop looking at the old stuff and they want you to look at the new stuff. Like you were saying, they want to make it around Star Killer Base. They want to, when Rey first spat out from between leg or something, they want some other time. And the fact they're using that, I don't know, man. Like I was kind of like impressed that they actually used that time because it's a callback to like what we were asking for. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then the other part that I saw was, if that's true, then we are, when we have his flashback, because there are flashbacks in this, we are deep into the Clone Wars whenever he is a child.
No, that's the thing.
Yes.
It's not.
It is the Clone Wars.
There's no way it is.
It is the Clone Wars.
They said later on, when they brought up the planet he's from, they said the population, it was an empire world, which the population got wiped out in a imperial mining disaster.
Exactly, but that's a plot that I think is what the whole show's gonna be based around. Because here's why: it definitely is in the Clone Wars. Because I actually looked it up. Yeah, it definitely. When he's a kid, it's in the Clone Wars. The Separatists are the ones that are in the ship, but his mom calls them she calls them what do you call it? Republic. Even though and then later, logos, they're Separatist logos. She calls them Republic. I would like to point out that she has a mask, so she seems to know that was carrying gas of some kind, because why would she know to go in there with them gas mask? That seems awfully suspicious. And then later they call it an Empire, and if you watch him when he does it, he even seemed like, to me, he's kind of surprised that it's even called that. So I think there's something going on, which I will bring up later, and I think that Empire stuff either happened a second time, or I think it's a cover-up for what actually went on that planet. And I have a little bit of that I found in my research that I will bring up. But yes, if it's BBY5 by his date, they would be in the Clone Wars.
And for those that don't know BBY, that means
before Battle of Yoda.
Before his first, it's a long time ago. It covers 900 years. It's a crazy statistic.
Yavin.
And the other thing was that I saw that some people were kind of asking about in some comments that I was looking at was that it's a private security force, what, like the Prex More or something. I couldn't really catch what they were. I saw it a couple of times, but they are a private security force. Basically, it seems like the Empire is hiring out what do we used to have here, like the dark water or dark something that America used to hire out to go handle our business in places we didn't want to find out, and like Blackstone and all these other like security agencies that used to be, they're full of like ex-Navy SEALs that would go and do some of the things we didn't want to show up on CNN. So anyway, they seem to be a security force that is in charge of keeping the force around there, because we find out in a little while the boss man is having to go to a meeting and give an update on his little sector that he's in charge of. So that's kind of interesting that the Empire is kind of like.
Well, it makes sense because you have these certain they'd be very stretched thin, and they're also very overreaching. So they'd look after a sector, but individual planets and their associated areas would be locally run, right? And you would have like groups like that who would be tiered on each other.
And then the other thing, I guess, just kind of keep going with this, like what I saw people were questioning. Another one I saw people were complaining that it was like a Cyberpunk or Blade Runner. Here's my thing. I totally understand where they were getting that from. But if you look at when Kenobi is going through the cities chasing the assassin during like the episode, what is it, 2, 3? I can't remember 3. Yeah. It kind of already looked like that. And if you're in the future where people can have robotic arms, and let's not forget the bullshit that sorry Disney, I love you. Let's not forget about the Scooter Gang and Kachung's I Cannot Be Disappointed TV show. They already were looking like Cyberpunk. And if you're in the future where you can go space traveling and you have all this technology, it's probably going to look something like Star Wars looks, where there's grimy ass shit, and there's, when you're trying to catch somebody's eye, you're like a space version of Las Vegas or Tokyo or something. Of course it's going to look like that. So I didn't have a problem with it looking like
with worlds that are always rainy, or they're all desert.
Yeah, I didn't have a planet. I mean, clearly they were going for that. They were going for that clearly, but I didn't have an issue with it. I wasn't like, oh, this is not my Star Wars. Like threw something at the TV or something. I was like, yeah, no, I can see that. Like it's in the red light district. It's going to be grimy and
Give me red.
stuff.
And Coruscant,
so-
right? That's an entire planet. That's a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so much different, like, climates and atmosphere.
And then the part we were talking about adults, I guess we can jump in that. He goes there. He's looking for his sister, he says.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a horrible mistake of saying the planet that she's supposed to be from, because I guess he's desperate to look for her. That obviously comes back to haunt him all throughout the rest of these episodes, because now they know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
The two gentlemen that ends up being kind of like police officers follow them outside. They're drunk and looking for a fight. Classic follow the guy out of the bar scene. They get to fighting, and here's the part that I saw, because I did not see this coming. Now, I thought they were going to wimp out, we'll call it. When they got in that fight and he kind of accidentally killed the first guy, I was like, okay, here we go. Disney's going to have him kill somebody, but he's going to pistol whip the other guy and took off running. He did not. He absolutely did not. The guy was like, hey, man, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, he waited for him to go through his entire speech, which was kind of cruel. It reminded me of Pulp Fiction whenever like he was like, I got this passage and I tell people when I want to make up some really bad stuff. Right. And it's like he listened to a speech. We go in there together. I'll say my friend slipped and fell. He's an idiot. You know what I mean? He just fell and busted his head. You had nothing to do with it. And he waits.
Yep.
And then pow, shoots him cold blooded.
It's the same as like when you go to a store and like they're talking to you about the rewards program, and you know you're gonna say no, but you're just so polite. You're waiting for them to finish.
Right.
You got to let them get through their little speech. You're like, they've been waiting all day to get like one person to say yes. And you're like, I'm gonna let them think they made some. So that
doesn't work for me. No.
So he shoots him, and then he has to, make a run for it. And I guess that's the first thing. Now, I will say this, like I was saying before, I think that people might, because I know a lot of people didn't like the flashbacks to the kids. They didn't understand it. They didn't know why it was there. And I will say it was kind of jarring at first because it takes you out. But I do think that that ship,
tanks. That's why it felt jarring.
Yeah, sure. I do think that's going to end up being important. Not necessarily maybe that he's from there, but like that ship crashing, because his mom, and apparently I guess he said something about his dad being hung. So was the black dude, did he come to be like his father figure?
I mean, I guess they will be. They were both been.
Clam Andor. That's his name.
Yeah, because we didn't really hear.
Clem or Clam?
Oh, so that was her husband. Okay, I didn't even catch that part.
Clem and Marva Andor.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Because he seemed like the only one that had any kind of brain in his head. He was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, he's got his own people out there. Throw his ass out. We got to go. And she was like, no, help me bring him in this car.
I've always wanted a son.
My man's the only one that had any kind of sense. He's like, no, we ain't bringing that kid. Are you kidding me?
I think that was a little long in the flashbacks of the native Canaries. But I don't know. I mean, if they had subtitles, I probably would have been happy with it.
I found it interesting that there wasn't subtitles. I found that really interesting.
Okay, so I actually looked this up. There's an interview with her. Okay, the mom.
Question then: if you put on closed captioning, was there subtitles?
I didn't try that.
I don't think so, but here's the reason. They might have, but here's the reason why. Apparently, that was by design, according to her. According to her, that language those kids speak is an actual language that they invented for the show, which seems weird because I don't think it's going to continue. The kids had to learn the grammar and the sentence structure of it. And this is, I watched an interview. I'll send you a link later. And they purposely didn't tell any of the adults what they were saying to them. So the actors had no clue what the kids were saying.
That's interesting.
Isn't that weird? Like, it was kind of a weird choice. So the kids had to learn that. All those kids had to learn that language who would speak it, obviously. But the adults had no clue. And so since they made that point,
who were they even talking to?
Oh, it would have been it was the Marge Andor and all that.
Yeah, like when she's in there and he's going and she goes, he doesn't understand you. Like, yeah, so like that scene, they didn't tell her or him, her husband, I assume, what they're saying. Like, they didn't give them the dialogue. Like, they didn't have their dialogue on the sheet.
I mean, we may have more flashbacks. We may have more scenes.
Yeah, so that's actually because I'm sure there are gonna have flashbacks of him.
Yeah, there's no way if they put
to his
a whole
mom
language together, just to have that be the only, like.
You know,
Flashback.
unless that broad is full of shit and she was just making up a good story because she was getting interviewed. I have no idea.
Well, and I also I'm hoping, and this is where I was talking about the overarching plot. I really do hope, this is one of my hopes for the series as a whole, is that he does keep looking for his sister, and that maybe we see a flashback of his sister. I think it's Kerry is her name. Looked it up. There isn't much on her. I think it's all just from this show, but hopefully, yeah, he keeps searching for her, and we see some flashbacks of her, and maybe some more scenes from that planet.
By the way, just a quick look. With closed captioning on, it just says like shouting in Canary, speaking in Canary.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So, yes, it doesn't even. They don't even have.
I told you, like that was some kind of choice the director made. They wanted to keep that like it's weird.
It's curious. I mean, really interesting to see what comes of it.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys think of the action now?
I don't. There was not a lot of action.
Most of it really just came in the third episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, third episode was good for that. I mean, I thought that like the slow parts, I thought they could have cut away were a lot of the flashbacks. Like, I don't think I needed to see every single kid putting on their war makeup, or like every single kid look at Andor or whatever and be like, why are you grabbing it? Why are you? Especially when you can't understand what they're saying. They're like, they're like grunting at him, and I'm like, I don't know if every kid needed to do that. Like, we could have cut out 5 or 10 minutes there. The other thing that I was gonna say, going back to the comments, people were wondering, like, were the kids sent there to like run interference for the parents? I never got that. I was under the impression that because of all the crap that went down, like you could see like a one scene, because I went back and watched it again. You could see where it looked like something washed away, like there was some kind of washing away of the mines or whatever. So I'm assuming whatever happened there killed their parents, because all their clothes don't look like they're for them. They look like
this is
Lord of the
definitely
Flies.
like a Lord of the Flies situation where it's just
like I was like, what do you mean the parents? I don't think the parents are alive. Like, I don't think people expected anybody to be on that planet.
It looked like one of them had a costume made from an X-wing pilot.
Yeah, it did. It did. It definitely looked like an X-wing. It was like a little girl. I saw that. I was like, is that an X-wing pilot thing? That looks like she's like a super big Luke fan or something. Yeah, and then I guess it goes back, and that's what I was saying earlier, that the boss man wanted to just, and I want to say again, like, the people in the background, I really enjoyed a lot of them. This boss man, the boss, he was only on there for like 4 minutes. I thought he did a really good job of just being annoyed by the guy that ends up being the main protagonist, like, or whatever. He was just like,
please, I just want to retire. I'm waiting for this package.
Nobody cares. The guy was a jerk. I met him. You know him. He's a jerk. He picked the fight with the wrong guy and fucking he got killed. Let's let it go. I just want to go. I got to go to this stupid meeting on another planet. Can you just drop it? Everyone sees that you're way too gun-ho. You're a little try-hard. Just let me be.
What I wonder is, like, he left for that meeting, right? He's going to come back, and like he got everyone to jump on board with this thing he said not to do. Like, he's not going to come back and be like, you're done. You're like, yes.
Well, yeah, I assume it's because he was left, like, he's the second in charge, and I don't, they had that conversation in private. So I'm assuming, because you can see that, like, nobody really want to do it. Like, he went to like the radar guy and had him go back and look the night before, and the guy was looking. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
that was so fun. I love that scene with the radar. I thought that was really cool, seeing how like they were trying to track a ship. Oh, this ship had this. But I really loved at the end of it when he was saying, "Oh, check the entire like 24-hour log." And he's like, "But that's gonna take so long." He's like, "Well, if you don't want to do your job, then one of those guys will." He's just like, you just see him in the door. He just through the doorway. He's just like.
And you just know,
like a regular dude.
Before the rest of the series, because we see a lot more of this like supervisor guy. Everybody knows what this guy is. They did such a good job of all the actors sighing, rolling their eyes. The fact that he's sitting there and his if you look at everybody else's uniform, it's clearly made to be kind of baggy, kind of loose fitting. And his is like way too tight. It does not look comfortable. And the guy was like, did you alter your uniform? Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. And it was like, what are you doing, dude? He's like almost making fun of him.
It's almost like the lieutenant in Saving Private Ryan. It has no battle experience, but he's got something to prove.
Yeah, I love that. I also loved. I used as my quote in the thing was his little speech he had because he had the other guy that the
You mean the worst ever pep
dude,
talk ever in life?
that was so funny. He had the big Irish dude basically gives a good speech and he follows it with and he's just and you could, it was so funny because you could taste like the air, how awkward it was, and everyone's just kind of like slightly coughing or just kind of looking around like okay.
Yeah, so he leaves, like you said, he goes all out, and then he finds somebody said in a comment, and I think it was on the New Rockstars too. Shout out to New Rockstars, where they called that sergeant or whatever, that overzealous sergeant, like it was like Dwight or whatever from the Office Space. Like he was like way too into it and was like ready to go. Oh, we'll make it happen. Guy. Like he was like so over the top. Like I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. It was very interesting. But then what they did do with that whole police thing that I thought was interesting, there's scenes where like when they're both doing their speeches, the ones up front who seem to be a little more gun-ho, they're like smiling and like, yeah, these country bumpkins don't know what's happening. And then you kind of see the guys in the background are not smiling, like they might have a little more experience with what's going on because they're going in blind to the situation just to like, rush in. So I thought that was interesting that you're having to find out there's some security forces because the Empire can't be everywhere yet. Mm-hmm. And there's security forces who are asked to, be the security for multiple planets. We're not talking about like, I'm going to go take my Texas security team to Florida or something. It's like I'm taking my Texas security team to like people that are from the moon. Like they're totally different cultures, totally different everything. Yeah. And that one lady even tried to warn him when he was like, oh, we'll go after him. And she was like, they kind of do things differently there. And he was like, oh, remind them that we're the ones in charge and they have two times every month they can launch an official complaint if they want to. Like it was
okay. Well, I liked when they arrived and everything starts going to crap. The townsfolk are just running around hitting these bells, and they're like, what are they doing? And then it's like, and he goes like, intimidation.
Intimidation.
All right, and then right here, because right now is where probably most people have already stopped watching. This is about per usual of our videos. So right here is where I'm going to throw the controversial stuff in. Listen, all right. When I saw there was the tribe leader, okay, of the kids, I saw his girlfriend, which you haven't mentioned yet. She's not bad looking on the eyes, if I do say so myself. When I saw her and then I saw his mom, I said, here we go. This is Disney's opportunity that we're going to find out these are normal people. And then out of nowhere, they're going to be supercharged. They're going to be 10 times stronger than any Jedi, 10 times smarter than Albert Einstein. They're going to make everything happen. And to my surprise, all three of them they took L's. They took a loss. The tribal leader made a wrong decision, didn't pay attention, got shot. They had to drag her away. We don't know if she's dead or not.
Yep.
No, not right now. Not right now. Oh my God, I can't do this more. Kids. Anyways,
the mother
the mom
got pushed in.
The mom at the end, like she's old and doesn't seem like she's doing that successful in life. And she kind of had to sit there and kind of take it. And then the girlfriend, which is one of the better parts of the show, not only did she take an L, but they like threw her against the wall and handcuffed her, and she had to be rescued by other people to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing about it. I didn't even catch myself until afterwards. I'm actually more interested in their stories than I think I would have been if I was eye rolling because they became superheroes that took out like 20 stormtroopers at once. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually interested. What happened to the tribal leader? How did she become that? This is how, I don't know who wrote this crap, but clearly this is somebody who's wrote something before. I hadn't even looked it up, but they know how to write because they made me care about them. I almost care more about those three than what our star is going through. Like I don't even care about his story because I know where his story is going, but I almost care about these three stories because this is what you do. Have them have flaws. Have me care about them. That poor old lady who just wanted to take care of him, his mom, what's going to happen to her? The girl that might have been his ex, I don't know. She lost her current boyfriend. And, her friend, maybe former ex-boyfriend's running off. She's like kind of known now by the bad guys. What happens to her? Good job, Disney, not making a weird decision to just go, let's superpower everyone just because, and you made me actually care about what happens to these people. I was very impressed.
If you want to know, by the way, who the writer was, He was obviously he wrote Rogue One, but he was the writer on basically all of the Bourne movies.
Oh, that's
Oh, so you mean he wasn't? So he wasn't like a feminist.
He did the screenplay
blogger?
for all the Bourne films, as well as a bunch of other stuff, and he also directed some later things too. But yeah, he obviously has a lot of
There you
experience.
go.
And Rogue One
Amazing.
being one of the things. So
Because what they've done like twice, I'm not trying to be funny. They literally, one of the TV shows, they had a feminist blogger write a TV show, and it was like the worst show that they had. I can't remember if it was if I think it was one of the it was one of the Books of Boba, if I remember correctly, and it wasn't very good. And I was like, wow.
Power Ranger episode.
Yes.
Maybe.
So you make me enjoy this and want to know more about it. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because
no, I agree.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. And to me, that's Star Wars, right? Like you had 3 really tough females. These are obviously strong women. This is a very classic Star Wars, but they weren't perfect. Amazing. Now I really want to know more about
just
them.
like the male leads, they are not perfect. They have their flaws. They have their
And then with her, the reason why I liked her story so much, one is she had, God dang, tell me he's not one of the most unlikable people ever. Her current boyfriend, who is no longer with us now,
Right.
he is like the most unlikable dude. Like, are you serious? Like, clearly you're hitting out of your range, right? Like, he's not a bad looking dude, but clearly she's probably one of the best on the planet, right? Like, if we're talking, she's probably the number 1 pick. She's number 1 draft pick.
Oh, that's one other thing of interest is that technically speaking, we had not really a sex scene in Star Wars, but like they were
Close.
like, yeah, you want to fuck? Okay, and then they strip, and then we see the next morning she's basically getting dressed and everything, and he's awkwardly sitting in the chair in the corner.
And for anybody who was wondering, if you do want to live in the world of Star Wars, one more check box has been checked. They have apparently some version of coffee. She asked
that was hilarious to me. You want coffee, basically. What did they call it?
Basically, you want a cup of coffee. Like checked, and then for all of our British fans, see, suck it. Star Wars is American. We already knew that, but like she didn't ask for a cup of proper tea, did she? She asked for coffee. There you go. America wins again. I need an American flag going off right now.
I guess the sex was that bad that she.
The first thing she asked for was coffee, not orange juice or something. Oh, you know what? I was going to play this. Let me play this in the background. How do I share this video file?
I think that's her like not junkyard. I guess it's a shipyard repair place.
Yeah, it's like
that's what I was gonna say.
It's named after her.
Oh, it was. I didn't even realize that.
Colleen is her last name. Bix Colleen is her name. And the junkyard or shipyard or whatever it was called, the Colleen whatever.
That's what I was saying. Not only is she, obviously very attractive, she's very smart, she's strong, but she's also seems to be a business owner. So that's just a clip some clips I put together that I could find on the internet because they're hard to find. And I just figured that'd be nice to have, clips of the TV show going. Of course, Disney, you own all this, and I just eat at your table by your goodwill. So know that. So what I did like about her is it showed, and if you get the chance, maybe look at New Rock Stars, but look at Easter eggs and stuff, because I noticed a couple of the different website stuff I was on. There is a lot that they crammed in here, from like video games, from random books, some stuff that isn't necessarily canon. Some mentioning of planets
that I got pointed out to, which is fun. Actually, sorry, 2 things quickly. 3 things. The coffee is called CAF. CAF.
Yeah. Not coffee at all. Nowhere near the same.
Just don't worry, right? 2. So Easter egg wise, 2 things fun is the shipyard where Andor has that ship he's using. I don't think it's a ship; he's just using the ship, which is a funny thing, right?
Yeah.
In that yard, I didn't look up to see what other ships were there, but clearly you can see, and someone pointed out that they have so it's not obviously the ship; it's the Ghost from Rebels.
It's the same style ship. Yeah, I saw that. And a Y-wing, I think, is in there too.
Yeah, and there's a Y-wing as well and such. But the what was fun was I really liked this, and I thought it was a really cool one. Was pointed out was Andor's gun when he is in the. We haven't got to that part yet.
Don't spoil that yet. Don't spoil that. We're gonna get to that part in a minute. I got it all right here.
Well, you're already spoiling stuff with the video here, eh?
Well, yeah, that's spoiling stuff, but we don't need to discuss it until because he doesn't pull that gun out till the end, or I guess right there. Well, you can do it right there. There you go.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about it.
So yeah, the gun he has is really cool because we've never seen it in live action before. It is from Jedi. Sorry, not
Dark
Jedi.
Forces.
Dark Forces.
There you
On N64. Yeah, N64 Dark Forces. It was the game with Kyle Katarn, and that was his gun. It was one of the guns you could have. Very cool looking. And the interesting part is in that game, the first mission is Kyle Katarn stealing the Death Star plans.
Yes, and it was pretty obvious. I don't think anybody ever denies this. That it's pretty clear that character. They based this character on Kyle Katarn.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty.
Because we're not going to get.
I mean,
Kyle Katarn,
it's
probably,
a huge coincidence if it's not, because that's a pretty big damn coincidence.
And the only other time we saw the gun, other than that, was in Battlefront 1, the reboot. It was a DLC weapon, and that was it. So this is actually
what I thought was cool is that when he puts it to the guy's head right before this scene, it has that little thing where it goes like it's almost like a safety, and it clicks on to let you know that the gun's there, almost like a shotgun noise. Yeah. I thought that was super cool. Like I thought that was a cool little feature of that gun. That was a really cool thing. Yeah. So it was the K16 Briar pistol. I believe that's what it's called.
The Briar pistol. That's what it was. The Briar. Really awesome name. I'll be back in 1 minute. Sadly.
Okay. So yeah, they when they get to the planet, the police officers, they think they're there doing a good job. Everyone's giving them dirty looks. And eventually they start like beating in all the metal, and they even sabotaged the ship, which I thought was actually really cool, where they tied a big piece of metal to that ship and he tries to fly away.
Right.
It's pretty brutal death, but then I think they realized at that point we're on the wrong planet. But yeah, so I was talking about his love interest, I assume, or used to be. I don't know what she is. Like how much they were having to like kind of hustle, you know what I mean, to get like, to make a living, to like, they were going and scavenging ships and going on runs, and it just kind of shows you what, perhaps maybe the average person was having to do to make it in the Star Wars world.
Well, and so was his when his parents came to the planet and found him, they were carting away a bunch of those same things that they were pulling off the ships in that shipyard. It's almost like a piece of a ship that's pretty worthwhile having, and everyone goes around scavenging them.
Yeah, and they're all like, you gotta do what you gotta do to make it in the Star Wars world. So I don't know. He said he'd be back in a second, but
what
I think we're kind of getting towards the end here of the shows.
What did you
think
he B2 emo?
Yeah, I actually didn't mind him. Like I thought it was gonna be really annoying because when he first came on, he was like real cutesy, but I actually didn't mind him. Like they showed him in the flashback, they showed him without all the stutters and stuff, and I thought that was kind of cool that they showed that like he's gotten old. He's like the old piece of crap computer you have don't run too well anymore.
Right. He is beat up too.
Yes.
Compared to what he was. And I love
he's all shiny.
stutters, like he's just missing a few circuits and has a hard time not telling the truth.
And it's weird because we've had so many droids in a row, whether it's R2D2, BB-8, the Rebels one. We've had so many droids that just make the droid noise that when he first started talking, I was like, what the hell? A droid's talking. And then I got to realize they do talk. It's just that, his size, his shape and everything, they usually just go to beep, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, wait a minute, why is he talking? And it took me a while to realize, they could talk. Like there's protocol droids.
And that
but his
he wasn't the ultimate droid that saves the universe. He was just there, and he played a small part, and he helped. He did what he could.
He's more like it seemed like he was more like a dog, like a really smart dog that kind of ran errands for them and get back before mom realizes you're gone, kind of thing. So the girl, what was her name again?
Vix Kalina.
All right, so the girl,
Colleen. Sorry.
We find out that she has a buyer that was willing to spend a lot of money, and he tells her, "I've been kind of holding out on you, I got a big piece I need to sell because I got to make a run for it. I gotta, I shot the sheriff, and it's time for me to hit the road. And so we find out that, and that annoying boyfriend of hers is like, she's leaving. I gotta go find her. So he like follows her around. It was so sad. And also we find out that he got really drunk, got jealous of their relationship, and drunk dialed the boss, the police, and turned him in. That's the ultimate you jackass move, because clearly they weren't, doing anything. And then she climbs up a pipe and gets a secret little door and calls her buyer and says, "We need you." He wants to meet, and it becomes pretty clear pretty quick that he wasn't all that interested in the actual thing to buy. He seemed like he was a lot more interested in the man himself.
Yep.
Which I found interesting, because I was like, oh, okay, like he seems to be more interested in him.
To the point where he didn't care about it.
Not at all. He kept trying to go back and get it as things were falling down and blowing up all around him. And he was like, I had to get that thing. He's like, don't worry about that. But what I did find cool was his like little speech where he was like, how did you get it? And he was like, it's easy. You just walk in. They're basically so fat and happy that they don't even pay attention to what you're doing anymore. Like, they're so proud of themselves.
Right.
Hello, Mr. Bird. They're so proud and happy of themselves that they don't even pay attention. And I thought that was such a good line they threw in there, because it explains a lot of stuff. Like it did a good job of explaining without being hard, without just hitting you over the head with it, that the reason why the rebels are allowed to pull off some of the crap that doesn't make sense, still doesn't make sense. But the reason why they're allowed to pull off some of the crap that doesn't make sense is because the Empire is so proud of themselves, they don't even pay attention. No one could possibly find out how to blow up the Death Star. No one could possibly come in here and steal, some kind of important information, because we're the Empire and we have all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed. So it was a really good line where he said that. And it, to me, it kind of like, said a lot about where they felt. And he also had a very aggressive attitude about the Empire too, that I was kind of surprised, because out of nowhere he was like, they're a bunch of jerks and who cares? We're the ones that spit in their food or something like that. It was like, yeah, some kind of line. It was like, they don't even pay attention. We're the ones that like, do this, do that, and like spit in their food. I was like, all right. Like,
most heinous of crimes.
Yeah. So Luther and the guy that came out for him, ultimately for him, not the gadget.
Yeah, it was more, obviously it was more for him than it was to actually care about what actually buying. He didn't really seem to care about the actual buying.
That's also another one. Sorry, Luther was an interesting character. I'm finding like he's gonna be, because I was wondering, is he gonna basically be too much like Saw Gerrera, just being this kind of this rebel who's going a little over the top and more fanatical? But he has like he's pretty methodical in what he's doing. Like obviously he was talking to Andor about just calmly about stuff. He wasn't jumping into like, we have to kill them, we have to do this, we have to do that.
I have a feeling he has connections maybe to either Saw or Mon Mothma or something.
I think he has to a bunch of them. I think he's the middleman.
He's basically a in the field recruiter.
Because he seems to be like
all and recruits people.
Yeah, I would think he would be more like, maybe he worked with, this is just my guess, maybe he worked with him in the past, but maybe he's more like official now. Like, I'm going to be the one that does it the correct way, just because he was trying to avoid as much as he could, but be prepared to fight, but avoid it. Whenever Saul might have just like actually tied bombs to all the fight
because I want to fight.
Yeah, he might have tied the little bombs to all the pigs that were running around there.
It's not a good day in the rebellion if I don't kill a couple on the way.
So yeah, so I think that's it. They kind of last scene we seen was actually a pretty cool scene. It's a little bit long again. I feel like all their scenes are about a half. I think the director really likes its shots. I think there was that one scene where he was coming into the ship as a little boy. And it's that long scene. It's a very famous scene. A lot of movies do it. And I felt like that was about 2 seconds too long. I was like, okay, like we get the shot. You got it good. And the same thing with this one at the end. He's looking out the window, backflash to whenever his mom, I guess, future mom gets him, and he's looking out the window as a boy. Go back. And I was like, okay, I don't know if we needed 5 minutes of that, but you got your point across.
I was going to say, I did enjoy how it was shot as well, and that this show use the volume very, very sparingly. The volume being the thing that has the giant LCD screens that the Mandalorian was shot on, Book of Boba Fett. So they were able to do a lot more with sets and on-site shooting.
Yeah, and they built that. They built that
that
town
town.
instead of
Yeah.
instead of relying on LED screens. They actually built the town, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It was like I feel like somebody totally different, like a whole different subsect, somehow got this whole thing planned, got it done, and like the evil empress wasn't paying attention.
One, so it was probably them coming back as a passion project to work on this.
Here's my concern before we go into the well, you know what? Let's go over this and then we'll go to my concerns about it. All right. So the reason why I was saying that the yellow gas, why did the mom have a gas mask on? Why did she know about it? I felt like I had read about this somewhere. Okay. So I looked into it. It actually took me a while to find this because it's not a canon thing. And Disney is getting rid of a lot of the non-canon stuff. You have to kind of look for it. But I did find it. And it's Trilexon 1138. There's a difference between 1138 and just Trilexion. It was a bioweapon in a comic book that the Separatists were going to go put on. What's the name of that planet with Jar Jar Binks is from?
Naboo.
They were going to try it out on Naboo.
This isn't
from instead. They tried it out on the planet Hongor, Honoghr. It got shot down over that planet. It filled that planet with green gas, killed off everybody, and made that planet almost inhabitable. And it reminded me of this exactly kind of orangish, greenish gas. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but it did remind me that these are separatists who have some kind of green gas, greenish, yellowish gas on their ship that kills them, turns them green, turns them thing. And I did say the first time I saw that, I was, oh, cool. Like, got some kind of green alien here. Then I saw the next one. I was like, that's kind of weird. And then after I saw the gas coming up, I was, oh, no, they got gassed or something. Like, I thought they were like green aliens at first. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I as soon as I saw that too, my first thought was, and I guess you confirmed it, was there was the 2 episodes of Clone Wars, so just pulled up here, Blue Shadow Virus and Mystery of 1,000 Moons, where there was the deadly virus that the Separatists, Padme, and they had to figure out the cure.
Yeah, see, that one's canon. This one is no longer canon.
So it must have been an offshoot that's similar then.
Yeah. And it's a gas that they were doing it, they were carrying it, they wanted to try it out there. They got shot down over the planet Hongor, something like that. And it became known as the Hongor massacre or Hongor disaster or something. And it made the planet almost I think there was like one little pocket of species that was existing, and I think they got turned into slaves by the Empire, shockingly. Is what I read. But yeah, I remember that for some reason. I couldn't remember where I remember that from. It had to have been a book that it has to be a book that shout out to Barbarian Kung Fu gave me, one of his random like dark horse books that he gave me that I was like flipping through or something, because I do remember it. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Obviously, they're not going to go, word for word. Let me just say if there's anything else. I think that was all my little
thoughts on
notes.
B2 Emo. We were talking about him while you were gone.
Thoughts on who?
B2 Emo, the red robot.
Oh, the robot. I thought it was fun. I like the design. I also really liked that when you first saw him and like those warthogs were trying to piss on him and he just zaps them. But no, I liked him. I thought he was interesting. I thought
he was going to be annoying. He wasn't. He was all right. Like I liked him. He was cool.
I was worried too. It's going to be like a sarcastic one. But I also like that. Like he's like, yeah, you have to get back to home before she notices, and she's like walking around. Where are you? And then he just slowly goes across town.
And I do like the line that he gave. He's like, "You got to lie to mom for me. If anybody asks me, lie." And he was like, "I do have sufficient battery left to lie. I can tell a lie." Like I thought that was great. I was like,
"He's gonna have to. That's 2 lies. I'm gonna have to go power up."
Yeah, there's a lot of lying going on here. I gotta go figure out. But I thought it was cool. Like I said, I thought they were gonna be, and I was telling him that because of his size and his shape, all those droids go beep bop, boop bop. So when he first started talking, my initial reaction was talking. What is that droid doing talking? And then I remembered it's the Star Wars, and they have a lot of droids that talk. And I was like, at first though, I was like, wow.
Basically the only droids that go beep boop is Astromechs.
Yeah.
And Astromechs basically, and BB-8. Like I'm not sure what BB-8 and those are classified as, but because otherwise everything else talks. Even gonk droids go gonk. So,
Yeah, I think the ones that do the beep bop boop bop, those are the ones that have to talk to like big computer systems and stuff. And I think that's why they do the beep bop boop bop stuff.
yeah.
But so
And the
here are my
massive-
concerns. I guess we can do our final thoughts. My concerns is it's slow. It's a slow burn. I don't know how many eyes of randoms, how many passerbys are going to look at something that doesn't have eye candy. And the budget on this movie, this TV show, is astronomical. So I don't know if it's big. And you can take a look at it while I'm talking. You can go look at that budget. It's high. It's got a big budget. And what I'm saying is, even if the budget doesn't seem as high as it could be, it has a lot for not having space battles and lasers and stuff that catch people's eyes. So I'm concerned that if it's not getting people to sign up for the Disney Plus, will Disney cut the budget? What did you see the budget?
So, Mandalorian was 120 million. Obi-Wan was 150. Andor,
How do they spend 150 million? The guy who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi must ask for 148 million dollars.
Catering was a lot of money. So, anyways, Andor, there actually isn't a number budget. There isn't actually a confirmed one, but it said that is ranged per episode is ranged between 15 and 25 million. Now, if you went on the low end at 15 million for 12 episodes, that's 180 million. So that's already 30 million more minimum above Obi-Wan. Not counting that budget doesn't count like advertising and all that. So
twice the amount of episodes.
And twice the amount of episodes.
And here's the thing. Also, they're not spending, which I'm assuming a lot of those other budgets went to special effects. They're clearly not spending a tremendous amount on special effects because a lot of those scenes were practical and people talking. So that's a lot of money.
And such, yeah.
That being said, though, I do think a lot of their budget, not a lot, but a decent percentage of the budget went to actors because there was a lot of different people talking. A lot of different. These were kind of known actors. They weren't big actors, but you had Kenobi, who was, I don't know, sitting on the edge of a rock looking into sun half the time or whatever, or like one other person walks by. So I mean, that's some of it. But that is my concern that I don't think if they cut the budget by a lot, I don't know how that's going to go because we haven't even seen. Holy Jesus, what happens if they start having actual battles and space wizards and stuff flying around? Like, what are you going to do then? So that is my concern, is that I hope that people be patient. And I think that I would imagine from the first 3 episodes to the 4th, there's going to be a giant drop off of viewership. I just wonder how Disney is going to.
They're going to capture us in the next one. And I feel like it's going to be yet the start of kind of another subplot. And maybe it'll last 2, maybe it'll last 3 episodes again. And I don't know. I think that he's going to be maybe involved in some, rebel missions or assassinations or something. Because he's good at that, as we've seen.
Yeah.
But he'll wait to give your whole evil speech and then he'll.
But so, as I said earlier, I'm hoping that he does continue to look for his sister. And we need to find, just like this book behind me, when he goes to, was it Wekiko, some other planet with these green alien twins, and they have some mission where there's a bunch of those security droids, and they reprogram K2, and we need him to meet K2.
Do you think that they're gonna retcon some of that because of how they do that? They've been doing that with certain characters.
Possibly. Maybe those 2 twins will be in this. I don't think so, but
that'd be weird just because that wasn't very long ago, and the whole point of the show is to provide backstory for that. So I would hope they wouldn't. We're talking about Star Wars, especially Disney. They retcon everything, but it would be nice if they were not heavy-handed with it. If it was like maybe a few things.
I'm going to throw my own little spec here about the sister, as you said. So we'll continue that story probably. I'm gonna say she's probably in the Empire. She's probably working with them in either the ISB or in. or just as
Are you saying that like she's a known character, or are you saying she's a brand new character? Because I'm about to hit the spec book.
This is brand new. But I'm going to say
Okay,
this is probably going to be working in the ISB.
I had finger on the spec talk. I had the finger on the trigger ready to go. If you were going to throw out a comic book number or something,
TIE fighter pilot,
ready to go.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't think of what else. I'm excited for the next episode. Definitely. Yeah, I especially excited to see all the other, like, other than just Andor, seeing the other plots. Like, if we're gonna see the Mon Mothma stuff, we're gonna see other rebels. What's going on with all that?
My hope would be give me more rebels, but I need to be real. Like, let me see that not all of them are good people, because you need not good people. And I don't just mean like they talk about this weird terrorist guy who's like, been blown to pieces. No, let's actually see what he does. Like, let me see some of the horrible things he does.
Let's see him.
Like, how you can get people to watch this is amp up the thrill factor, and then start to make decisions. Like, what are you going to do? Are you gonna crash that car into the puppy making factory, or are you going to make the decision not to, and then everyone dies on the planet? Like, you need to start making decisions to make it like you got to make tough decisions, and not just make everything so like hunky dory, we all win again, and we're ignoring the fact that we just killed 100,000 people on the Death Star. We're totally ignoring that as we're celebrating with the Ewoks who are eating human beings at the same time. Like, a lot of stuff we ignored in Star Wars that I wouldn't mind. Let's circle back around. Let's talk about some of those. I'm enjoying it. I don't mind it being slow. I'm not going like this the whole time. Like, I'm not just like, getting nervous ticks because of like, oh, why did they do that? So I think Disney can excel on shows that don't, like, if you don't want to keep bringing up the past, then just don't bring up the past and write new characters, new stories, make new things, and stop like pissing on the old ones to make your new ones look good. It's like you're the pretty girl in school or the pretty boy in school, and you're not confident though, so you keep making fun of all the other kids to make yourself feel better. Hey, Disney, you're the biggest corporation in the world. Just go out and make good shows. You don't have to keep bringing up the old stuff. Just go make new characters, make new shows, and I think they can excel at that. What do you think, Australian? What do you think the future is going to be? Do you think it's going to be good, bad?
Oh, it's going to be great. There's going to be AT walkers. No.
Can't disappoint him, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm thinking that, just like those tense, awkward scenes in the Inspector, when they were just from the protagonist side. We need more of that. I'm hoping that they get kind of in the weeds with, TIE fighter pilots or something, and, the day-to-day lives of those. The fact that they don't really want to go out and patrol, but they do. And maybe they find some rebels while they're out there.
Yeah, and then another thing that I wouldn't mind seeing too is more, because still the Star Wars does it. Kenobi did it too, where it's like there doesn't seem to be any like gray area. I'm a stormtrooper, those are rebels, they're bad, I'm good, or vice versa. There doesn't seem to be what would happen naturally, right? Like, all three of us stormtroopers were sent to a faraway planet that we know nothing about. And there's rebel activity, they don't appreciate we're there, but you're like walking around with them. Like, I've been stationed on this planet for 2 years, and in no way do you hesitate, in no way do you like sympathize. And I wouldn't mind seeing some of that story too, where it's like, yeah, I got a job to do, but but no one ever hesitates, man.
We'll see some blind eye like looking and such.
Yeah, like, let me get some, like, even when they do, they end up being like, rebels kind of had that, but that guy ended up being a spy. So it's like, it wasn't even like that way. So I wouldn't mind seeing that too, just a little more stuff like that.
When I was looking up Cassian, I saw there was something about him having the nickname Fulcrum. Did you read that?
I noticed it, and I immediately backed out because I didn't want to get spoiled, because I wasn't sure if that was added from the 4th episode or not. So
no, I don't think so. I mean, I doubt it. But
I looked up this morning, so that's why I was like,
are we just saying that we're just pretending like that name hasn't been used, or is that going to be a name that they give people in that job? Like, that's a job.
It says
title.
he operated Many rebel missions with aliases such as Willix, Ach, Jorath Sword,
I guess
Clan,
which one stuck,
and the codename Fulcrum.
Because Fulcrum is like the informant, and like Ahsoka had that title for quite a while, and then obviously don't think she kept it after a certain point.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know where a planet would be where you'd have a guy that looks like he could be an American or a dude from Spain or something, or whatever. And a good alias is like I don't know how good an alias that was, but
it's spelled AACH.
It's like my name is Craig, but I'm gonna go with a name of and no one's ever gonna question that. It's like, oh, that's a pretty cool name. Is it common where you're from? Absolutely, everyone has that name.
I was adopted by a lizard, but the
All right, well, that's it. I think we're gonna get off here. Go watch number 4. Be ready for next week.
Well, we have the news and new comic book day to look at.
Do we need to do that because we are already an hour in?
Yes, we do.
No, I don't think we do. We're an hour in.
It'll be quick.
Oh, we're already an hour in. Do we really need to do this?
You usually chop it up.
I'm gonna put it right here. This is clearly one person's opinion that we need to do this because
it's tradition. We do it every time.
We do not do it every time. There's been plenty of times where our fourth unspoken or our fourth unspoken person didn't bother doing it and we couldn't do it those times. All right, I'm looking for it. Give me a second. Andor.
If anyone wants to know, we will be covering episodes 4 through 6 of Andor together and not doing a weekly one. It's the slides. There you go.
It's not coming up.
Because it's still loading. Click it again. It's the top left one, the yellow one there.
I know. It's not coming up. It says broken.
You weren't clicking hard enough.
All right. Sorry. I know for real, it's not coming up though. There it goes. Okay, find it. That was weird. It's usually like instant. Oh, good lord, that's a big picture of his ear.
It's a Van Gogh.
It's the Van Gogh. But yeah, so they had some character posters come out for the 3 other characters, all of which are great. So
very cool.
Yeah. This is one of the ones I wanted to bring up, is that James Earl Jones is retiring from playing Vader, and he's given his rights of his voice performance to Disney and basically the company, I guess, is the company that's doing like the voice modulation. So it looks like now it's all gonna basically be like AI voice for Darth Vader.
And if you went on to a MrGarrell Discord, you would have found this information out weeks ago, but it's fine. It's fine. It's neither here nor there.
Hey, did you notice people posting and like giving people heart attacks?
Thinking he died, yeah.
Just like the same thing happened with him about something else.
To be fair, he is in his 90s, so.
To be fair, when I first saw James Earl Jones signs over rights, I was like, "Holy Jesus! Tell me it's not true." Then I had to finish reading before I was, "Oh, thank God." I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go visit him. I don't know him, but I was not ready for that.
So this is the Ultimate Collector Series Razor Crest. They showed it off coming out.
That's cool.
We're going to talk about that
it's $600 US, so don't rush to the store to buy it yet.
$600
US, yeah.
Oh my God!
Have you ever bought a giant like 3,000 piece Lego? They're not cheap.
I would love the Superstar Destroyer, but
what the heck is this?
So this is the Holiday Black Series release.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God!
So you got the Wookiee on the left, the Porg. You got Protocol with a little BT droid.
Star Wars Goes Grinch.
The next ones are pretty fun, actually, though.
Tell me that you're not going to buy this, Kachun. Yes, you are.
That's the next cosplay, right? That's
the socks.
With the ugly sweater, too. That's perfect.
Yeah. What's that little white thing? Is that one of those foxes?
Yeah, from Last Jedi. I love the Scout Trooper. I think that's a great one.
Oh, my God. Before I had a chance to say something, I was like, I bet you the Canadian likes this one. I had a feeling you were going to say that.
No, I like the
I
other
don't
one
know
with
why.
the mouse droid. I think that's pretty cool.
I think you guys are forgetting these are like $29 a piece, and nobody needs to buy any of
They're
these.
cool, but I wouldn't buy them.
No.
So
Hey, this issue.
don't bring this fucking stupid shit up. This is the new comic book day stuff. On the left is a hot issue because that little creature there is his first appearance and first cover, and I don't even know who.
Oh, here we
working for him.
go.
It's not about the creature. It's about all of those red lightsabers. 7 of them. There's gonna have to be a new Sith or something coming.
It is interesting. All right, Canadian, you have to go find me this book. I'm interested
Alrighty.
now.
But yes,
It's
Dr.
the
Aphra,
Spark
the
Eternal,
24.
right? Is the little creature?
Yeah. I can't remember.
I don't care about the creature. I'm more interested in this. This has got my attention.
Yeah, me too.
We'll have to look it up and see.
I haven't been keeping up with Han Solo on the app, but
I have not either. So yeah, Dr. Aphra, these are the 2 variants. On the left is the Casper variant.
the variant.
Yeah, that's the guy who did the art on the original Dr. Aphra run. I really like that cover, and I tried getting it pulled. And on the right is the Choose Your
Nice.
Destiny variant, and is Lord Momin from the Vader series.
Oh, right. It is too. And that's his toothpicks there on the.
It's toothpicks. And then you have that variant on the left, and then on the right is the again Mace Windu this time.
All
This
right.
is weird.
It
This
does-
almost looks like it's a photo thing or something. It's really weird how they did that. It's kind
Now,
of cool, actually.
I wish on that lightsaber they had rotated a little bit so you actually see the motherfucker. That's supposed to be. These are second printings. So on the left is the second printing to Mandalorian issue 2, but it's the second printing of the photo variant, I guess the concept.
Huh.
And then on the right is the second printing to issue 26 of Star Wars.
What was his first cover appearance?
Grogu?
Yeah. Was it one of those?
It was the one. Yeah, it was the anniversary one that went crazy. Everyone, it was him and Mandalorian. That also got a second printing.
Right.
Yeah. See, it told you it was painless.
that was pretty fast, actually. I did notice that on that book, that reprinting of the Star Wars, that Luke Skywalker's. I've never noticed that before, but I don't read that book. His shaft there seemed to be bejeweled. Like it seemed like it had some decoration to it. That's very uncharacteristic of the Jedi there, having decorations like that.
When there's no one else to say anything, he can do whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Who's gonna say something to him? Like, hey, you ain't supposed to have that on there. Yeah. So here's the thing: if you are you have a lot of disposable income, there's a sweet Lego. Unless you are just the world's greatest completionist, you have to have every Star Wars toy. I see no reason to buy those Black Series Christmas things. That's weird. I mean, if you like it, that's on you. But if they were like $5 or $10, I could see you doing it. Like I would do it if they were like, if I get a couple of those for like $10, $15, I would put it in my downstairs in the wife does Christmas decoration, just because to see her look on her face when she comes around the corner and there's like Star Wars Black Series Christmas stuff. But it ain't worth like $80 to do that, to get like 3 or 4 of them. Like,
No. You'd be better off
Man,
just
that's
getting
crazy.
an existing one and then just painting it yourself.
Pretty red
Yeah.
green. On top of that, those, by the way, they will have the cardboard, right? So you're not even going to see the figures.
Oh, that's not gonna last long, because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people just
They're
going in and
changing it
opening them
already?
up,
Good.
and none of them have characters in them or toys in them, or they're been swapped for like some random toy that they just swap them out at like Walmart. So
That's good.
That's ugly.
what was gonna happen if you're gonna make it where you can't see it? It's a box. Of course, people are gonna be shady about it. Like,
Mhm.
Wow.
like what did you think? But all right, so next week we will be doing this once again,
Mm.
and then I don't know, the Canadians
In a few weeks, and we're gonna be
going on vacation or
Yep.
something.
I mean, we're skipping Andor for a few weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be
Yeah.
skipping it. We'll come back for episodes 4 through 6.
Well, we
and
haven't
then-
discussed yet. We're still in negotiations, because I've told him there's no reason why. He has a phone that can call into the show, and he can go to the bathroom, and It's going to be in a time where she'll probably be asleep, so I don't understand the problem.
Yes, 3 a.m. That's fine.
It's like that thing that always do on like Instagram or whatever, TikTok. She's never going to know. She'll know. She's not going to know. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Awesome.